Next speaker is a well-established and focused person that generates trust, who can easily get the job done due to his commitment, business developer, and a fully passionate into what he does. From Hamillroad and MacDermid, please welcome to Mr. Anthony Dalor. Anthony, good afternoon
Alex,
for you in Australia. For you, Andy, how are you? Tony. Okay, so here we have, let's say, the two gentlemen at the same time. So it's an enormous pleasure. I guess that we will start with Anthony. Okay, our presentation. And there we go.
Thank you, Alexander. It's very nice to see you again. How has everything been going?
Well, the things, you know, here we are most busy in Bangkok, and it's a real pleasure to be broadcasting from Thailand. So it's amazing.
It is. Well, you've got Andy all the way from the UK, I believe, Andy, myself from down under in Australia, and yourself there in the beautiful country of Thailand. So I hope to see you soon. But let's go ahead and share my presentation then.
Thank you and welcome.
Okay, thank you again, Alexander. So for those of you that I haven't had the opportunity to meet in my travels throughout the years in the packaging industry, I have been involved in the packaging market for approximately 20 years. And along the way, I've made a large number of network associates, for which I am extremely grateful and I can call upon whenever needed. I'm also obviously proud to be part of the MacDermid team, which will help you drive Flexo and profits within your region. Today, I'll be looking at 4 to 5 major points, and they are a brief overview of MacDermid, who we are and what we do. Why is Flexo one of the strongest growing technologies? And from Philippe's presentation, you've seen a lot of the attributes that Flexo can bring to the region, and I will continue with those attributes in my presentation. What is driving this growth? But not only from a sales point of view, but from a brand owner's point of view and a printer's point of view. We will look at the trends, the major trends that is driving the need for Flexo, and how MacDermid can help you today. So who is MacDermid and who are we? For those of you that may not be familiar with us, our MacDermid operating businesses are part of a company publicly listed as Element Solutions. The 5 major businesses under Element Solutions serve a wide variety of industries. The focus today will obviously be on MacDermid Graphic Solutions, who manufacture one of the most comprehensive range of photopolymers for all market applications. So in terms of product segments, we cover and serve a broad spectrum of the packaging market, ranging from corrugated, tag and label, folding carton, preprint, and wide web packaging. Our photopolymer products, both sheet and liquid, are recognised as world-class products, making MacDermid the preferred partner at many trade shops, printers, and brand companies around the world. So what do? We innovate and become your innovations partner. We develop technology suited to your market needs. We want to be your graphic supply chain. We are your total solutions provider. More specifically, we want to become an integral part of your business, not leave you on this venture alone. We want to be able to guide you through the maze of information that's available today, which you would agree with me, there is a lot. And to complement our efforts, we want to work with a variety of commercial and technology partners one of it which we'll actually highlight today, called Bellissima, that takes Flexo beyond today's capabilities. And also to assist your efforts, we have strategically placed around the world R&D facilities, innovation centres, customer experience centres, technology labs and manufacturing sites. In fact, as I mentioned before, I'm from Australia, specifically Melbourne in Victoria. In MacDermid's premises there, we have a state-of-the-art liquid manufacturing photopolymer where we supply all of the Asia-Pacific regions. So what does it mean to go further with Flexo? It's easy to say, but very difficult to know the direction you need to take. And to understand that, we must first look at why Flexo. Why do we choose Flexo as the preferred one? For a long time, every time we picked up a print sample, we printed with gravure, we would use that as the benchmark to compare it with. We would look at the highlights, we would look at the solid ink density, we would look at everything possible on that gravure print and say, it's just not as good as gravure. But today, with powerful technology, combinations, and I stress that word combinations because you can go so far from MacDermid, Flexo far exceeds what Flexo can offer. But these aren't the only reasons. Flexo is all about flexibility. That's how I've termed it. If you're looking for high-end screen rollings, and I'm not talking 120, 150, 200, I'm talking, let's think out of the box, 350 LPIs plus. You can add a variety of screening technologies such as Bellissima, which you'll hear more about from Andy after my presentation, to MacDermid's plate range, and you're there. And you will see how you're there through examples that Andy talks to you about. You want print consistency, Flexo can deliver. You heard that in Philippe's presentation. You're looking for an expanded gamut to cover a broader span of the tonal range, Flexo can deliver. Faster press setup times, press ready times, Flexo can deliver. And that was imminent in Philippe's presentation as well. Now, the other benefit of Flexo is that you can achieve ink savings. And if you want to go further with those savings, again, you can combine it with particular screening technologies such as Bellissima, which will significantly reduce the amount of inks you're using. So this is not, we're just saying it could work. It will, and it does work. And you will hear a lot more from that with Andy. But again, why is this important to know? So if we look at the driving trends that I mentioned earlier in the presentation, what are those trends? We're going to look at it from 2 points of view. We're going to look at it from the brand owner's point of view, or sometimes referred to FMCG, the fast-moving consumer groups. And then we're going to look at it from a printer's point of view, which is extremely important as well. So the brand owners are looking for global brand and image consistency. They want a blue or a red that's printed in the US to be the same as the red printed in Europe and the same red to be printed in Asia Pacific. They want to be able to shift their prints anywhere in the world and achieve the same global brand and image. And going along with that is the consistency. They want the consistency of the print wherever it may be printed. Shelf impact. We all have seen and being told that the average consumer, I think it was, takes anywhere from 12 to 20 seconds to make a decision, let's say in the supermarket. And in order to achieve that, the aesthetics of the packaging must be to a level that it achieves the differentiation on the shelf to allow the consumer to buy that. So that's what brands are looking for, the shelf impact in the products, the colors, the reproduction, the flesh tones. That's what they're looking for. And also they're looking for speed and flexibility. If they've got promotions coming up, they want to get it on the supermarket shelf as fast as possible. So they're going to look at processes that deliver both speed and flexibility, which enable them to get their products on the shelf a lot faster. And wherever there is an option of sustainability or sustainable solutions, the brand owners would definitely use that as a driving issue for preference. Now, from a printer's point of view, if we look at the trends and needs of the printer, a big part of that is about cost as well. They're looking to become one of the lowest cost producers. So how do they do that? One of the ways is through automation. They continuously look to automate their processes, their businesses, take cost out and become a low cost producer. They want fast press ready time. So when that plate hits the substrate, it will print straight away to the level that they require without waste. They want to reduce waste extremely, obviously, to be able to be a low cost converter. They want to make sure that their print standardization is the same, whether it's from the first impression to the very last impression, and if again from site to site. And to be able to do that, they want to build up some confidence themselves that they've got technology partners, and those technology partners will help them impart a lot of those points that I've mentioned above, as well as quality improvements. And those partners could stem from press people, plate manufacturers, ink, substrates, and press, and right into the pre-press room. And together, they will achieve what the printer's looking for. So what do you need to get there? Okay, I've gone over the driving forces for the brand owners and the printers, but how do you get there? One of the biggest things that's lacking in the transition to Flexo is the knowledge base. So you're going to have to look for strong, innovative and collaborative partners. You've got to be able to associate yourself with people that understand the Flexo process, people that know what they're talking about, not just say, let's go Flexo. You want the transition to be flawless, and you need strong partners to be able to do that. And you also need strong technical competence from your partners that, again, will not only say, let's go Flexo, but will be with you for the journey, that will impart the knowledge on how to achieve what you're looking for, particularly against the governing force, which is gravure. And if you put those three partnerships together, you have a powerful combination that will no doubt make the transition to Flexo flawless. Now, in the next few slides, what can MacDermid do to help you get there? Okay, from a MacDermid perspective, we can take you there using our strong technical knowledge base and award-winning plate technologies that deliver what brands and printers are looking for. You can see there, we've got plates under the Lux, ITP, or in the plate platform, known more commonly as flat top plates. You've got ITP 60, ITP Epic, and ITPN. All those plates have been specifically designed with particular features that are in line with what the brands and the printers want. So that's a very, very important point to understand. They're not just a product. They've been delivered with a particular shoulder, a particular construction that delivers what you're looking for. And again, it doesn't stop there. Those plates have been designed to be able to be combined with various screening technologies, but something as powerful as Bellissima that takes you to the next stage of Flexo printing, you will see enormous benefits from combining screen technologies such as Bellissima. And from a sustainable solution that we heard that the brand owners are looking for, and no doubt the printers, we have a thermal process called lava. It's a lava thermal processor. And the advantage of MacDermid's lava system is that one of the biggest advantage, and probably we're the only ones with that advantage, is that the same plate, whether it's ITP Epic, ITP M, or ITP 60, you can purchase a plate from your trade shop, which is processed by solvent, or you can produce it in-house using thermal. It doesn't matter. It won't disadvantage you. Obviously, thermal has a significant time saving in the total plate making process, and it meets the sustainable option that brand owners are looking for. It's also an option for many people to go in-house because of the elimination completely of solvent, which means a significant, if not complete, elimination of VOCs, volatile organic compounds. All right, so to end, I'm just going to look at a brief case study just to show you some points of differentiation, and it involves a startup label company in the US. And they wanted to differentiate themselves in the marketplace. They just didn't want to start up and provide the same product and the same quality and so forth. So what their needs was sustainable solution. Okay, and to do that, they also wanted to speed to market and quality higher than Gravure. It's simple. Customers simply went for thermal technology, in this case, lava from MacDermid, and that imparted huge productivity reasons. And at the same time, they used encumbered screen technologies from Hamillroad called Bellissima. Honestly, the results that you see there on the screen speak themselves. Through their point of differentiation and their quality improvements that they're able to show the industry, their businesses take some leaps and bounds. So I hope I've given you some more insight into, what's driving Flexo and what are the needs of both the brand owners and the printers, and how we can all work together to get you there. So Alex and the audience, I thank you for your time, and I look forward again to being part of the remaining presentations. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you so much, Anthony. And just to recap what you have said many interesting and insightful things on your presentation. I understand that we are in a part of the world, Southeast Asia, that is very conservative in terms of printing technology. Most of the converters in this part of the world are more based on rotogravure technology.
Mm-hmm.
Those
Yes.
who still feel like they are in their comfort zone and don't want to jump out of that comfort zone because they feel like, oh, we are most oriented in this kind of technology. We don't want to go out of that point. Just to let you know that nowadays it's possible, like Anthony already mentioned, to get same printing quality on Flexo. We have the available technology to do this, to help you to have a smoother transition between Roto to Flexo. So the message is very clear and very powerful. This is the time, this is the moment to change things and to have a more cleaner energy that is Flexo compared to the existing one that is rotogravure. From the side of MacDermid, from the side of Comexi, we are ready to help you and to give you more ideas to make it even more simple to all of you. Thank you so much, Anthony, for your kind support.
Thank you, Alexander.
Thank you. Now, on the line of all the speakers we have today, an interesting and insightful gentleman will come with us as well. You can say it also, creativity is my word to have a short description. He had developed a significant amount of first proof, a high-performance virtual pre-press soft-proofing product packed with a large number of sophisticated pre-press tools. In particular, developed most of core engine. His presentation is as well full of insight. These are some of the main things that I can just conclude into our next speaker. Please welcome Mr. Andy Cave. Andy, welcome.
Hello, good afternoon, Alexander. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How about you?
Very well, thank you. Very excited. This is the very first webinar I have ever done, so it's hopefully everything will go smoothly.
Please, welcome.
Yeah, thank you. It's really exciting to be here with everybody. It's just a shame that I can't be with you in Bangkok, in Thailand. Hopefully one day I will be able to. So let me share my screen and get straight into the presentation. Okay, so I hope that's all visible by everybody. So I'm going to give you some insights into the future of flexible packaging and printing, mainly related to the printing side, and show you how that's actually happening today, and how a combination, as Tony said, of ITP60 with Bellissima can really enable you to go further. So first of all, I think you can see me in the camera, in the picture there, but that's a photograph of me. I'm Andy Cave. I'm the CEO of Hamillroad Software. And it's quite interesting, exciting that we have Tony in Australia and myself coming to you from the UK. So I'm going to talk about several things about how you can go further with Flexo with that combination of Bellissima, DMS, and the ITP60 plate from MacDermid. And there are three things that I'd like to cover in the next just under 20 minutes. The first is how we can replace gravure with Flexo. And I think this is a real change in tone for the industry. Normally, the industry talks about winning jobs from gravure or converting jobs from gravure. That's not our mission. Our mission and our statement is to replace gravure with Flexo, and I will show you how you can do that. I'll also give you some insight how with Bellissima you can actually print more with less ink. I'll also show you how as a printer you can increase your press utilization. Now, these three things together, any one of them individually would be really powerful, but you put all three together and you have a real impactor on your business as a printer. But before I do that, let me give you a little background quickly on Hamillroad Software. So we've been going over 20 years. We were founded in 1999, and we're not that well known, but we are one of the biggest suppliers of screening technology, for example, in North America. So if you go and you buy a magazine in the States, if you fly on any airline, the in-flight magazine is most likely printed with our technology. We started working on Flexo about 4 or 5 years ago, and we brought it to market 3 years ago at Label Expo, and we've been growing ever since. Over the last few years, we've won 4 technical innovation awards, and then last year in China, where we now have a trade shop using Bellissima, we won a 5th technical innovation award. And that's clear evidence that Bellissima is really something innovative and special. So I'm just going to show you a video, give you some background. So that was a short 10-15 second video, which basically showed you how screening technology has changed over the last 20 or 30 years. It started off in the 80s with very visible screen dots. And as you went through the 90s and the 2000s, the dots got a little bit smaller. You still had issues with rosettes and moire. And you can see at the end there, this is what Bellissima gives you. It gives you much more higher definition photographic reproduction. So that's what we're really talking about with Bellissima, but it's actually a lot more than that. So going to the first of the three things about replacing gravure with Flexo, here is a job. You can see it's a water bottle. It was printed in Argentina. And this is a job that's now been printed with Bellissima. But first of all, if we zoom in on there, you can see the quality, the image fidelity that you get with gravure. And everybody knows gravure is very good quality. But if you now zoom in and take a look at what they're getting with Bellissima, you can see that we're actually achieving higher image quality with Bellissima than with gravure on Flexo with the ITP60 plate. This is something I'll talk about a little bit more later on. If we look at the second topic I was mentioning, how to print more with less ink, I'll spend a little bit more time on this slide and explain how we can print more with less ink. So what you're seeing on the screen in front of you are the Bellissima dots compared to AM dots. You can see the AM dot is round and it's bigger than the Bellissima dot. Now, what that means when you print is with the AM dot, you get a big volume of ink. And you can see it's quite thick in the middle. It's a dome of ink. In comparison, you can see that the Bellissima dots are not as deep. They're not as, they're a little bit shallower. And the amount of ink on the dot is restricted because of the way the dots are. Now, when you print that, this is what you actually get. So this is a microscope capture from an actual print. So here we have the print result of an AM dot, and then you can see the print result of our Bellissima dots. And if we zoom in on that, you can see that the AM dot is extremely saturated in the middle, and it's putting down a much thicker ink film thickness in the center of the dot. If you look at the Bellissima dot in comparison, you'll see that there's much less saturation. You're getting a thinner, much more even ink film thickness. Now, how does that save you ink? Well, it's quite simple. Ink filters light, but it's not very efficient at doing it. The more ink you pile up, the less efficient it gets. So if you can keep the ink film thickness lower, you can use less ink to achieve the same densities, the same tone values, and the same color. And that's basically the secret behind Bellissima. So with Bellissima, you can print a job saving ink, and the number we tend to say to people is 5% or more less ink when you print with Bellissima. So the third thing I mentioned was about how you can increase press utilization. Well, how can you do that? And the answer is simple. It's with ECG, extended color gamut. If you can print with extended color gamut, you don't have to do the wash-ups, the press wash-ups between jobs. So instead of printing CMYK with spot 1 for an hour and then spending an hour cleaning the press and then printing CMYK spot 2 and then spending an hour cleaning the press, with ECG, you print in CMYK OGV, orange, green, violet, and you just put the plates on print, And that can actually give you a saving. That can increase your press utilization by up to 40% more. So that's 40% more paid product that you're shipping out to your customers. But I don't really want to tell you what we think as a company, what Hamillroad thinks. I want to tell you what our customers actually think and what they actually say. Because although we're telling you about the future of printing and how that can be helped with Bellissima and ITP60, is actually happening right now. So I'm going to tell you a story, a tale of two printers who are actually using Bellissima DMS and ITP. So the first printer is in Europe, and they are a company called Enverflex in Spain. And you can look them up on the internet, you can find them. They've been going for since 1984, and they've now been using Bellissima for just over a year. Now, one of the challenges they faced was similar to what we heard before, that the market demand was for shorter and shorter runs. And as the runs got shorter, they were spending more time changing plates, more time doing make ready, and more time washing up the press. And the press utilization was going down and down and down. So how could they resolve that? How could they put more paid product out the door that generates revenue? Well, the solution, as I mentioned, is very simple. It's ECG. If you can do extended color gamut printing, as I said before, you can cut out the press wash-ups. But you can go even further, because what you can then do is you can put two jobs onto a single set of plates, print on the press for twice as long, cut the result in half. That's half the number of plate changes. It's half the number of plates. It's half the make ready. And you can then print two jobs in a shorter time period. And extended color gamut allows you to do that. So why isn't everybody doing that so far? Well, one of the problems with ECG is that with an AM screen, it's really difficult to do. With an AM screen, you have rosettes. Spot colors, when converted, don't look very smooth. You have issues with moire. You have issues with angle clashes. So certain colors can't be used together. And if you get any misregistration, you get color shifts. And it's really difficult to do with AM screening, but not with Bellissima. Bellissima is a real enabler that allows you to do ECG without limits. There are no restrictions. You can use any combination of CMYK OGV. There are no rosettes, no moire, no angle clashes. And Bellissima is very tolerant against misregistration. But as I said, let's hear what the customer has to say. The customer experience, and this is what they had to say. They said it was easy to use on all their presses. They reduced the number of spot colors, and they were able to use CMYK or CMYK OGV across a range of substrates. No press wash-ups, more product on the shelf going out the door. But they found actually it went further than that. Not only did we increase their press utilization, they found that, well, a side effect was they actually got really high definition Flexo prints. And when they looked at them and they compared them to gravure, they thought they were completely comparable to gravure quality, but obviously at a much lower price, being Flexo versus gravure. So as you can imagine, they were a very happy customer. So what have they been printing? Well, this is one of the jobs that they've been printing. If you go to a supermarket in Europe, in various countries, you can actually buy this product off the shelf and you can look at it and you can see the incredible quality that's being produced. They are now replacing gravure with Flexo because of this combination of ITP 60 and Bellissima. And if we zoom in on this, you can see just how good. If you look really hard, you might be able to see some dots. But this is zooming in. With the eye, you cannot see any dots. And it looks like beautiful photographic high definition print. And this is happening today. But they actually found there was more. So they found that because they were doing fewer press wash-ups, they weren't using solvent to clean out the ink. And that meant a reduced use of solvents that was environmentally friendly, and it obviously meant reduced costs. Now, you know that Bellissima is very high definition, so why not use a Highline AM screen? Well, that's something they tried in the past, as have many other companies. But they found that a higher line AM screen put so many additional demands on the plate, it just wasn't stable, it didn't work, and they had issues with plate wear, but not with Bellissima. This printer has told us they have not seen any decrease in plate life. And we have customers elsewhere who we know are printing up to 1.6 million linear meters on a single set of ITP 60 plates with Bellissima. So Bellissima can really go the distance. So that's the first story from an actual customer of ours currently printing in Spain. So let's look at a second one. So we're going to switch continents. We're going to switch to South America. And in South America, gravure is very prevalent and is very commonly used, as it is in Asia Pacific. So here we're talking about a printer called Petropak. They also were founded in the mid-1980s, and they've now been using Bellissima over the last 12 months. But they had a different requirement to Envaflex. They wanted to be able to match gravure, and they wanted to be able to take business away from gravure. And previously, they just could not do that. They could not achieve the required image fidelity, the high definition images. So what was the solution for Petropak? Well, this is what they said. They said it was very simple. And that's really great to hear. It puts a smile on my face. They adopted Bellissima. That gave them the high definition print results that was better than gravure. They found it was very stable. They found that the plates were very stable. They could last long runs. And we know that our dots are actually more consistent and stable than AM dots. By switching from gravure to Flexo, they were able to reduce costs, reduce lead times, so everybody was very happy. So what did they have to say? What was their experience? Well, they said the result delighted them. And if you have a happy customer, I can't think of anything else that you want. Not only were the printer very happy, the brand was very happy as well, and they were delighted with the result. So who was printing and what are they printing? Well, this product, Lux, is a Unilever product. And it's gone so well, the quality is so good, and the ability to change from gravure to Flexo is now leading Unilever to put more and more products through this printer printed with Bellissima and ITP 60. So these are real examples of how you can go further with Flexo. If you told people you can change from gravure to Flexo today, I think a number of people would be surprised. One of the most other benefits that Petropak found, although they wanted the ability to go from gravure to Flexo, they found that they could actually use ECG. So this is the reverse of the first example in Spain. Although they managed to exceed the quality of gravure, they then managed to also change to using extended color gamut. That then reduced the number of plate changes and so on. And they found they could actually also increase their press utilization. So another fantastic story from Bellissima DMS and ITP60. So if I can recap, I mentioned at the start, we are talking about the future of the flexible packaging and printing industry. And that is happening now, and it is happening with Bellissima DMS and ITP60. So Bellissima DMS and ITP60, it gives you the solution, the ability to replace gravure with Flexo. Tick. It gives you as a printer the ability to print more with less ink. You can reduce your costs and improve your profit margins. Well, I think that's another big tick. And then as a printer, you've got this very expensive equipment in some cases, and you want to maximize the amount of utilization that gets. And if you can increase your productivity and the product that you send out, the saleable product, by 40%, that is massive for a printer. So you as a printer want to increase your press utilization. And that's another massive tick from Bellissima and ITP60. So as I said, this is happening now, and this is coming to you all around the world. We have currently trade shops in North America, South America, Europe, and Asia Pacific that have started up, have been working with Bellissima for over a year, or who are now starting up with Bellissima. And our install base of trade shops in different countries is growing by 1 or 2 a month. And so this is coming to a trade shop and a printer near you. So if you want to become part of the future of flexible packaging and printing, then I'd ask, take a look at Bellissima and ITP60. So that's me. Thank you very much. I hope you all found that interesting.
Thank you so much, Andy. Just in addition to what you say, just to mention one thing, he mentioned ECG.
Yes.
In a part where we are, ECG is very important. Why? Basically, because we know that the behavior of the consumer is changing, and therefore, all the short runs are increasing. And that is where ECG is really important. Why? Very simple. If you have a technology that you have, let's say, just an example of 8 jobs in a day, and these 8 jobs, you have a machine that is, let's say, 30 meters or 35 meters long, and every time that you want to change from one order to another, you must have that machine stop for 2 hours. And this is where ECG is really a big key player. Why? Because in only less than 10 minutes, you will get back and change from one job to the other. And here is where ECG is really important. So this is a very good alternative. It's just a matter of having the right understanding, the right knowledge on the side of the prepress. And of course, by having a really interesting and amazing and incredible technology like Bellissima, is the perfect match. So it's just a matter of you as converter to define what you want. Shorter runs, faster changeover times by having a Flexo technology available on your facilities. Andy, thank you so much for your kind and insightful presentation.
Thank you, Alex. It's good to speak to you.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you,
much.
everybody.
Thank you. Okay, so